What up? What up? What up? Benji, the ruler, street sweeper, the mafia. I'm Mob ENT, CEO. We are live and in full effect each and every last Sunday of the month. Y'all already know how I go down. Today we are going to do a quick recap on cancer season. Major shout out to all the cancers. We did our thing this year, baby. We did our thing this year. So we're gonna do a birthday recap. I'm talking about my video shoot that is scheduled to drop on the first, which is Tuesday at midnight. So major shout out to everybody who is tuned for that, and thank you to everybody who has pre-saved the Mafia song on Spotify. We're going to talk about chapters, reasons, and seasons with people, communication, and some stuff like that. And today, our special guest is Joseph Sheffield from Synergy Financial. He is an insurance broker, highly educated professional in his field. We're going to talk about life insurance policies, wealth management, and some different strategies, when it comes to life insurance and different policies. All right. So now let's do the birthday recap. First, I want to give a shout out to everybody who helped me make my birthday a successful event, birthday, gathering, party, soiree. It was the best, hands down. Hands down, it was the best birthday I've ever had in my life. Regardless of who came and who didn't come, it was the best event I've ever had and I've ever hosted in my life. Super expensive. I ain't even gonna lie. I went a tad over my budget, but everybody paid in full and it was worth the experience. All right. So first I want to give a major shout out to Don Juan, who blessed me to be able to rent the castle. This was a 10 bedroom, 12 bathroom castle with a pool. I have never experienced anything so extravagant. It was huge, a castle, 5 floors. They're still building 2 more floors. So event soon is going to be 7 floors. So I just want to thank him for being able to give me the opportunity to be able to shoot a video, shoot content, and to have my birthday event there. So major shout out to Don Juan from Linda Vista. Major shout out to Cantrell Delcor. A Lawrence, thank you so much, bro, for flying all the way in from New York. I told you I got you. I was there on time to pick you up from the airport. We had a blast. I made sure you got back safely. So thank you again for coming. It was a huge risk for you to be able to come out of the country and help me celebrate my birthday, but we both were on the same page because we knew that what we were doing was bigger than us. We knew that the event was not only for my birthday, but it was our premiere, the International Provocative House of Delcor. It was our premiere in mainstream ballroom in Mexico. Some of y'all might not be familiar with the ballroom scene, but some of us are. There is a huge Kiki scene here in Mexico, and right now we are starting to incorporate the mainstream ballroom community as well. So thank you so much for Kentrell, A. Lawrence, for coming out here and helping me celebrate my birthday and for being a great co-star in my video. You did a beautiful job, and I really want to thank you for coming and celebrating me and supporting my vision. All right, El Panquecito, the cake. Oh my gosh, the cake was so good. Thank you so much. Maybe shout out to El Panquecito for making, like, it was so mouth watering. Red velvet, had the strawberries, pecan. It was so good. Major shout out to M Panquecito for making my cake. Major shout out to Claudia and the dancers, the Aztecas who did the routine. Thank you so much for coming and making my party extra special. Thank you for your patience with everything. Thank you for coming and calling the ancestors. Thank you for bringing them and being able to um, work with me during this event. This was my first time doing an event in another country, and for everything to be successful, everybody got paid. There was no issues, there was no drama, there was no no violence, no disagreement. So thank you so much for coming and helping me make that special. Major shout out to Wendy and Daniel, the fire dancers. Also, major shout out to Omar from Eye Candy PV for bringing and for allowing your team to come and help to make to bring some entertainment to my event. And even though you weren't able to come, the fact that you were able to still provide other alternatives so that I can successfully bring my vision to life. So thank you to Omar, thank you to Wendy, thank you to Daniel, thank you to the Eye Candy PV team for coming and entertaining me and my guests for my birthday. DJ Juan, major shout out to DJ Juan. Bro, you came, you saw, you conquered. The lighting, the sound system, the fact that you played my playlist, it was perfect. The sound, the lighting, and the fog machine. I don't know too many DJs that have that type of setup. Like you literally had the lighting, you had the huge speakers, you had fog machines, you had special effects, and you had people to help you and to help me throughout the entire night. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your patience and your support. Charcuterie Vallarta. The charcuterie board was massive. I was not expecting it to be that huge. Although it was on the pricey side, I didn't know that it was gonna be, it was huge. It was literally huge, but it was fresh. All of the food was fresh, the meats were fresh, the cheeses were fresh, the fruit, everything was perfecto. Thank you so much. I will be booking you again for another event. Chef Sage, you did your thing. Thank you so much for um, the macadamia cookies, the ginger strudel cookies, the chocolate chip cookies, the um, the pecan pie, the turtle cheesecake, everything, the gummies, everything was perfect. Thank you so much for helping me to make my birthday special. And last but not least, thank you so much to Romance Event Planners. The floral design was so superb, like the way that y'all came and y'all made it happen and y'all decorated in a timely fashion. I really felt like y'all made the castle look like I was in a whole nother world. Just it was just so beautiful. And I want to thank you for your patience as well and your teamwork for helping me to execute another fabulous event. My event was a huge success because of all of you, and I wouldn't be who I was if I didn't give shout outs to each and every one of you individually because I greatly appreciate you all for helping me to make my birthday special. It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be right if I didn't give a formal thank you to each and everybody who was a part of my birthday. So thank y'all so much again. And I look forward to working with you all again very soon. All right. The Mafia video shoot. The video is dropping August the 1st at midnight. Major shout out to HHH Audio Visual for coming. I think this is our fourth or fifth video that we've shot together here in Mexico. So as you know, building relationships with people is very important. And being able to keep your word, keeping your face clean, and doing good business is always going to supersede all the bullshit. Okay, keep your face clean, do good business on time. We execute, everything is done. Thank you so much for coming and executing. The video looks fab. I can't wait to see for everybody to see. I already done seen it. I can't stop looking at it. You know what I'm saying? And y'all already know what my videos give. It's a whole movie. This ain't just some we just sitting throwing the no, this is a movie. So stay tuned. Make sure y'all pre-save the Mafia song on Spotify. I will be dropping the link again for those of you who don't have it. Also, you can go to the Benji the Ruler YouTube page and you'll see that the video will be dropping on the 1st at midnight. One more thing before we get into our interview with Mr. Joseph Sheffield. Okay. I want to talk about chapters, seasons, and reasons with people. Okay. I think one of the very important things a very important thing to do to have in this life is not only intuition but knowing when it is time to close or end a chapter with certain individuals, certain business ventures, certain just period, just knowing when the season is over, knowing how to decipher if a person is there for you for a season or for a lifetime, knowing when your chapter is up with a certain individual. It's not always about the other individual. Sometimes you might not be able to provide the support, the know-how, or the energy that that person might be looking for. There might be an area of lack that you might have that you might not be able to provide for that person, and it's okay for you to move on. Okay. And if I ever choose to end a chapter with anybody, there has never been any type of malicious intent. I don't go behind people's back and talk bad about them or expose any of their, information or business that we might have going on. I'm just not that type of person. I take pride in building business relationships with certain individuals, whether it's temporary or long term. Just know if we ever part ways, I have never been the type of person to get online and expose certain things. I take pride in morals, I take pride in codes and principles, even if things could have been fixed through communications. Sometimes some things just aren't understood. Sometimes people just not gonna understand to some things. Sometimes I honestly feel like I shouldn't have to explain certain stuff. Sometimes people really know what the fuck they be doing. Sometimes people really know, and then sometimes if you explain certain shit multiple times after over and 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 over again, and people still give the same energy, you can't expect people to change who they are. I can't expect me out of other people because support don't mean the same to certain individuals. Support might not, what you might consider support might, to me, might not be the same. So I guess everybody has their own definition of certain shit. But like I said, know when and how to end certain chapters with certain individuals and move on with grace. Move on with grace. It's okay. It's okay because at the end of the day, we all are here to live our own journey. We all have our own purpose. We all have our own life. We all have our own goals, principles, morals, values. Stick with it. Period. All right. Alignment is key these days. Make sure you are aligning yourself with the people who fit your future, the people who have some of the same similar goals that you might have. Make sure you align yourself with people who have some of the same lifestyle, and I have found myself over the years really looking past certain things because I've always wanted to build with my people. Like, period. I didn't care. I don't care if you gay, straight, trans, black, white, purple, orange, Chinese. I don't really Muslim, Indian, Christian. I don't be caring because I go off of energy. I go off of vibes. I go off of your spirit. I go off of your character. I go off of what you show me, right? I don't go off of what somebody else said or a situation that you might have had with somebody else. I might not agree with how that happened, but that ain't got shit to do. You ain't do nothing to me, So align yourself with people who fit your future and not your past. Like I said, know when chapters, reasons, and seasons have evolved. Be okay with blessing people and sending them on their way. Get out of attachments. Sometimes we get comfortable being around people and engaging with certain individuals. We get attached. It's okay to detach yourself from certain situations and certain things. Communication is key. I've been saying this shit for a long time. Communication is key, but comprehension is key as well. Okay, if you tell me you're gonna do something and you don't do it or you don't communicate, it's a weird feeling to me because I try to keep my word when it comes to things. And if I can't, I'll at least let you know, hey, plans change, something happened. I can't fulfill that obligation. Let's work it out. Let's do it this way. I'll make it up to you, blah, 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 whatever, whatever, whatever. All right. So communication and comprehension is key. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. I had to get that off my chest. I wouldn't be me if I didn't. I think it is very important for you to release certain things that may have been weighing on you or certain things that you might have been feeling. I'm not going to be no emotional wreck. I'm going to let whatever I need to let out. Now, it's a lot more shit I wanted to say. Oh, baby. But I'm not because it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's that some things just not worth it. You feel me? I just release it, let it go. We moving on. You know what I'm saying? Thank you again to everybody that is tuning in. Thank you again to everybody who helped me um, have such an amazing birthday event. Again, y'all do not understand how high of a feeling I was in during the entire moment. Like I had just never experienced anything like that in my life. And I also want to say thank you so much to Kendra and her husband, who are locals here in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, that actually came. They didn't complain. They actually said that that was one of the best parties that they've ever been to. So thank y'all so much for coming and supporting my event. Now for the moment y'all have waited for. Mr. Joseph Sheffield, you ready to go? All right, let's get down to this business. We're gonna go ahead and bring you in. First of all, I want to say thank you to you and your wife. Y'all are some amazing, beautiful souls. And I remember meeting y'all at Brooklyn Cafe. We chopped it up for a second. We talked business. We talked life insurance. I think we talked real estate a little bit too. And I remember telling you that eventually we were going to work, and that I was going to interview on my show or some type of something. And I also remember you screening me for life insurance too. So I try to keep my word when I say I'm going to do something. Okay, it might not be right when you want it, or it might not be right when you expect it. But if I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna try to keep my word and my face card clean. So with that being said, we're gonna bring Mr. Joseph Sheffield on to the Real Right Show. Let's go. What's up, bro?
Hello, hello. What's up, man?
Thank you, man. Just another day in paradise. Let everybody know who you are and what you represent today.
Hey, everyone. I am Joseph Sheffield. I am a financial literacy person with Synergy Financial Partners. Essentially, I'm a wealth builder, wealth protector. I can help you make and save money. It's as easy as that. From Albany, Georgia. I'm 35 years old, recently married a few months ago. No kids just yet. Um, but that's me. That's me, pretty and simple. A Southern boy. Um, and on top of you keeping your word, that message that you gave, I thought was awesome because in the short time that we spent together, you were saying those same things, and we had just met. And I was telling you about, people when weren't supporting me. I was asking you, how are you able to move to Puerto Vallarta and be so successful and be happy? You were saying those same things at the table. You were saying, hey, some people won't, they'll be with you for a season. So the fact that it's been some time now, and on your show here, you're giving this message to everyone, and it was basically for me again. So thank you for being true to who you are and being consistent.
Now, I appreciate the opportunity, and I appreciate the fact that you were willing to move forward with it. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's not always on the same page all the time, right?
Right.
And just to know that we are in position and we have all of this knowledge and we are willing and able to put ourselves on the line to make sure that our people have this information and have this access to these different things and these different streams of revenue. It is very groundbreaking, and I want you to know that I am proud of you for what you are doing and for the family that you are building, because it is very hard on Black men.
Indeed.
It's let's just call a spade, bro. It's very hard on Black men, and the expectations are very high. we have to show up every day with a straight face.
Yep,
And a lot of times, a lot of our emotions have to be swept under the rug because we don't want to appear as soft, or we don't want to appear as weak, or we don't want to appear as I just don't know.
indeed.
Sometimes it's okay to not know. Sometimes it's okay to not have it figured out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just glad that I'm able um, to provide my platform and my resources, and I'm glad that you're able to come forth and help our people, because I feel like a lot of our people need this. All right, so let everybody know how they can follow you on all social media platforms.
All right, you can follow me on Instagram, Synergy J Sheffield. Synergy J Sheffield on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok, but my name is Joseph Sheffield. You may see it pop up there. You can follow me on Facebook as well.
All right, and now, so how long have you been a life insurance agent?
I've been with Synergy Financial Partners for about 3 years. I've been an agent total for about four years now.
And what made you want to get interested in that field of expertise?
Well, I actually went to college to study accounting, and I was going to teach accounting. But I continued to work in the field that I was in, and a guy came by my store where I was working in sales and told me about what he does, and it was kind of interesting. It gave me the opportunity to teach finance in a way without, going that college route that I was originally intending to. So
Right.
it's interesting how things can work out for you. How I was going to school for a thing, it didn't work out, and now I'm doing it, but in my own unique way. So I'm blessed that things are working out.
Man,
Yeah.
it's so crazy that you just mentioned that, and I don't even think we touched bases on that when
Mhm.
we first talked. But I literally am l- living proof of that same storyline, because I went to college for mass communications broadcasting, got kicked out, and I'm still pursuing radio, TV, mass communications.
Wow.
So now, listen, for my viewers, I don't want y'all to take this as go drop out of college.
Right, right.
Get your education. If,
Indeed.
if you in there, excel, do your work, get your degree, whatever you're trying to do, keep following your dream. But this is also for those of you who may have either got kicked out, dropped out, changed their mind. You can still work and thrive and be successful in the career choice, in your career choice, without having to have those degrees. And as
Indeed.
we know nowadays, it's a lot easier for people to thrive and excel in certain careers without a specific college education.
Yeah, my phrase is stay in the way. So usually when you're doing positive and you're just kind of in the way, something's gonna bump into you. If you go stay in the road, you're gonna get hit. So that's what I do. I just stay positive, stay in the way of things, and usually the thing will bump into me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I've learned that too. Like I've learned to keep promoting myself, network, get out there. Of course, there are moments where I'm in my shell and I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be out there, but for the most part, it's all about consistency and keeping it going. Now, what exactly is life insurance and who needs it?
Well, everybody needs life insurance, 100%.
Right.
So life insurance is financial coverage for the day you do pass away. So we know everyone will pass away, and so you would want financial coverage to go to whoever the beneficiary will be on that day comes. So most people understand life insurance as death only, whereas I promote a product called living benefits, and so living benefits attached to your life insurance will pay for severe illnesses also. So when you ask what is life insurance, I would say is financial coverage for the event you have a severe illness or if you die.
Now, what are some different life insurance policies? Because I know there's like whole, there's like term. What Just let us know what different types of insurance policies there are.
So there are a lot of these great questions. There are a lot of types of policies. To keep it simple, the differences in the policies are there's term insurance and there's whole insurance or permanent. So term means it'll cover you for a term amount of time and then go away. So usually that's a 10-year term, 20-year, or a 30-year term. usually one of those. So if I'm 30 years old and if I get a 20-year term, when I'm 50, that term will go away. I'll be older, I'll be needing more insurance, and I'll be a little less likely to get, better coverage because I'm older. Things happen as we get older. So that's a
Correct.
term. It's more like a fee for service. Permanent, however, will do the opposite. It'll last forever. So you'll just be making that payment. And, when you do pass or become ill, if you have living benefits, it'll pay out. It'll pay out. So that's the difference. Permanent will last forever. And it's usually a little bit more expensive because it's lasting forever. Whereas
Right.
term, 10, 20, 30 years is cheaper because it's not lasting forever.
Okay, cool. So it gets cheaper as the years go by.
Well, no,
Possible.
it's cheaper if you're covering yourself for a shorter period of time.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
say 10 years is the cheapest. 20 years is a little bit more. For instance, a 35-year-old person, $100,000 term, maybe female, maybe $18 a month on a 20-year term. But if
okay.
that person chose a 10-year term, it may be $10 a month. And
Correct.
likewise, 30 years would be more like $40. But if you choose that same 100,000 in a permanent, it may at the age of 35, it may be more like $90.
90.
So
Okay.
yeah, so permanent lasts forever, a little bit more expensive. Term
Right.
will go away in 10 or 20 or 30 years, and it's a little cheaper.
Now, when we talk about living benefits, can you cash out on the life insurance policies, or does do life insurance provide policies cash hold some type of cash value, or how does the living benefits work?
So, living benefits and cash value are two different things, just to clarify. So, living benefits are triggers attached to your life insurance that will pay out if you have a certain illness. So, if I have a terminal, a critical, a chronic, an accident, or Alzheimer's, my life insurance will pay me while I'm alive. So all I need is just to have a trigger. Something happened to me. I didn't die, but yeah, I need that money. I'm paying for
Right.
it. So it'd be great if I have a $500,000 policy to pull 250. If
Correct.
doctor said I only got 24 months to live, well, I need money for experimental treatment. I need to try to save my life. I may just want to go on a cruise and say, hey, you know what? It's over. Let me enjoy my family.
Right.
But it gives me the option. So for the same price, again, I'm an advocate of living benefit. I'm a living benefits specialist, actually. So that's living benefits. The payout of your life insurance, not if you die, but if you have an illness and you just keep living, which we know 60% of people will have heart attack, stroke, cancer. And living benefits pays for over 21 different reasons other than that heart attack, stroke, cancer. So that's living benefits. But the cash value piece, so you think of life insurance, and this is only in the permanent life. Think of it
Right.
as a bank, or whoever your bank is, Bank of America, Truist, whoever your local bank. You go put money in the bank and you take money out when you need it. It's the same with the cash value in the life insurance. So you put money in there and you can take it out when you need it. It may take you 48 hours to get it, but that's pretty liquid, just like a bank.
Yeah, that's good. And that's only for perm, right? Permanent.
Right. Term insurance does not come with cash value buildup. No, it's
Okay.
only on permanent.
Okay, so only on permanent. All right, now, so this basically coincides with my next question. What if the client becomes disabled?
Yeah, and
And
then
this,
they would, if they have living. So great question.
right,
Most people have death only insurance. So if they do become disabled, well, you just gotta wait to
you
die.
just disabled, you still
Yeah.
alive.
So unless you got some kind of Aflac, sub coverage, and we know fighting for disability can take years, with our
Yes,
government process. So yeah, so if a person is disabled, again, let's use $500,000 of life insurance. If you can't do two items of your daily living, let's say you can't put on your clothes, someone has to walk you to the restroom. Well, you're disabled. All we need is a doctor's note, and you'll be paid 2% of your life insurance for 45 months. So 2% of $500,000 is $10,000 for about 4 years. And all we need is a doctor's note,
A
which is
doctor's note.
amazing compared to anybody else who just has, death only insurance. So, yep, you'll get 10. If you say, "Hey, Joe, 10,000 is too much for me," I'll take 5,000 for 8 years instead. That's great. You can choose how you want to get it, how much you
I didn't
want.
even know that.
I didn't know it either. And when I was 31, and the guy came by and told me about it, and I was blown away. And so,
Blown away.
yeah,
But see, that's how information and education can really catapult a person's life in so many different ways, because knowledge really is power, and sometimes it only takes one piece of information or one person or one resource to literally take you from one. All right, cool.
you're right.
So
You're right.
now, how are death benefits paid out?
So they are paid out tax free in the form of cash to your beneficiary. So it's straight cash, tax free. All we need is that. Again, if you have living benefits, we need a doctor's note. If you
Right.
have, if you passed away, then we need the death receipt.
Death certificate.
Death certificate, yeah. And so once you get that death certificate, it'll be paid, automatically to the
To
beneficiary.
the beneficiary.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do life insurance policies require exams? Because I've seen people get denied due to certain uh maybe physical ailments or certain situations. Does it require a physical exam or medical records?
So your medical records everyone's medical records are stored in like a medical database. So
Right.
now they've done away with physicals, so they make it easier for you to, because that was a barrier. Some people don't want to go take a physical, do any kind of blood work or anything. So
Mhm.
now that's no longer needed. No, you don't need a physical, no blood work. If you have a lot of medications, a lot of health conditions, and they're considering you, then they may send someone out they'll pay for it, and they'll schedule it, and they'll send someone out to do the blood work and physical.
Right.
Yeah. So it just depends on the person, but out of 10 clients, I'd say 9 of them don't have to do that. It may
Don't
be
have
one of them has an issue, and then
right,
we'll just send, especially a lot of people don't go to the doctor like they should. And so if you
right.
haven't been going to the doctor, then they need to send someone out because you haven't been to the doctor.
You haven't even been for them to know if you're even physically right.
Yeah.
So now let's say a person has been, paying their premium consistently, monthly, whatever. And let's say they are late or they miss payments. How does that work? Does it work kind of like credit? Like would the late payments be reported? Will their plan go into default? How does it work?
Yeah, so the late payments, they aren't reported like credit. They're more
Okay.
so, well, the company doesn't make any money unless you're participating. So they
Right.
want you to be a client. So if you miss a month's payment, they'll just send you a notice to say you missed a month. If you miss the second one, they'll send you another notice saying your policy is it's potentially going to be lapsed.
Default. Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to go away if you don't make your payment. And then on the third month, if you don't pay, they'll go ahead and close it. But what this is kind of like a scare tactic. Like they want you to, feel like, hey, dang, I just lost it, and you call
Right.
your agent back to try to get it back because they know you got another 3 months or so to still get it back active. All I have to do
Right.
is call and say the client is still interested. Let's turn it back on, and they just turn it back on. And they want me to
Right.
reiterate to the client, hey, if you can't make a payment, call us and make an arrangement.
Making
So
arrangements.
yeah, you can make arrangements, and they'll give you, like I said, maybe really 6 months. If you're choosing the permanent option, whatever savings target you choose, you can underfund your account half of that amount. So if I'm choosing a $200 target, and let's say a couple months go down the line, I'm like, man, what was I thinking choosing $200? I could call them and say, hey, for the next month, take out for the next 6 months, take out only $100, and they'll do that. And then on the 7th month, they'll go back to 200 until I change it
Wow.
again. So you can underfund,
So you get that
or
right.
again, they'll give you like about 6 months, but I don't know what kind of plan lets you not pay it for I mean, ever, and then you still have it. So
Mhm.
obviously, you want to be paying your
Right.
policy. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is like the best way to research a insurance company to make sure that they are legit, the validity is there, the credentials is there, just to make sure that they are a legitimate insurance company? What are some ways of certification that you can find to see if they're legit?
So the insurance companies can be a little tougher to figure out because they're very private. Similar to Better Business Bureau, how we
Yes.
kind of complain if somebody isn't doing good business. Your every state has a Department of Insurance. It may be called the Bureau of Insurance, but you can Google and find your state's Department of Insurance and then look up that company. And all the complaints for that company will be there. They'll say this company said they have living benefits, but they didn't pay. Or hey, we had a policy and somebody passed and they didn't pay. Like so they'll say all those things will be there for you. There's also, and again, that's your state Department of Insurance. There's
Department of
also like a credit bureau. There's insurance bureaus. So there's bureaus like AM Best, Moody's. Another one's called Fitch, and the last one is S&P. So those four bureaus, they measure insurance financial solvency, so their
Okay.
ability to pay. And so if a company has low financial solvency, then they would say, they got a low rating, they got a C minus or something. So I only deal with A+ companies with high financial
Right.
solvency,
Yes.
and I'm aware of their track record on the the State Department.
So you can do the Department of Insurance or the Bureau of Insurance, AM Best, Fitch, or S&P to check out the validity of an insurance company.
Yep.
Now we talked briefly about beneficiaries, and I want to dig a little deeper into that so that people are a little knowledgeable about who they should have as a beneficiary. Who do you think should, like, just logically speaking, um not knowing too many details of a person's life, who do you think should be a person's beneficiary, and can you change it?
Well, yes, you can change your beneficiary at any point with no penalty. So if something happens in your life, you want to change that, by all means, change it. Most people, when they get ready to set up their policy, they want their kids or as the beneficiary, but you need to know that you can't put a person under 18. So the person one has to be over 18 as the beneficiary, and preferably somebody who you trust to deal, to handle the money when you do pass. So
Correct.
that's who I would put as a beneficiary. Usually my spouse. Before my spouse, it was my mother,
Right.
because I trusted my mother to take care of it.
Hmm.
So we know that when a person has a lot of money at once, even if you trust them, I mean, you're gone. I mean, they do whatever they want to do with it. So
Right.
it's good to get a will. It's good to
Yes.
set up a will so that there's instruction. Somebody says, this is what happens to this money right now. If you feel like you got a little bit more assets, I think it's good to set up a trust, because a trust will give instructions past the day you die. It's
Right.
almost like controlling your wealth from the grave, they say. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's good to get both. The trust though can be more like 2,500, whereas a will can be like 600. So
Right.
most people get a will before they get a trust, or they get a will only. But if you could just save, there's a lot of tax benefits you'll reap when you do pass. Like your items won't go into probate. You won't
Mhm.
lose the tax of your wealth. Some people will have an inheritance tax because they had so much money and they didn't say who it goes to.
Right.
So since your family is going to be fighting over the money, the government says we're basically going to tax your money so that we can just help it
Decide
go
where.
like it's supposed to go,
That's
which means
important.
you lost wealth, that your family could have had. So
Exactly. That's why I feel like this is so important, because nowadays you really see a lot of the um GoFundMe accounts, and then you also see, let's say, a lot of celebrities when they pass, their estate wasn't set up, they didn't have a trust, they didn't have a will, so they're fighting the system or the government or the court systems as they're allocating their properties or their funds or their assets. So I'm glad we're able to have this conversation. I wanted to ask about trust-owned insurance policies, but I don't want to go too in depth with that because I don't want to confuse myself. I want to get more research. But I do know that you said that y'all have a team of skilled professionals that can help the people set up trust to cover their assets as well.
Right, and wills as well. So we do have trust attorneys on our team, and that's why I like our company Synergy. The name Synergy, it just helps us maximize on what we're good at. We do
Yep.
the retirement planning, life insurance. They do the trust and the wills. Accountants do the accountant. So we partner with these real estates and accountant professionals and on the trust attorneys, and they do what they specialize in. There's so much legality with that, so we don't take over that. We help you. And then there's parts of the trust that they'll need us for, because some of your items will need to be under a protected contract, like
Mhm.
life insurance. So they'll be then calling us back. So we work very close, but yeah, the trust attorney will help you with all your trust needs.
Yeah, I think it's very important to have a team of skilled professionals in different areas for wills, for trust attorneys, and people who are skilled professionals in these different areas. So it's not like I'm just looking to you just specifically for a life insurance policy. Like if I needed help setting up my trust or setting up my will, there is a team that is specifically designed to help you curate your will or to help you curate your trust. I was in a trust class a couple days ago and I didn't and remember I sent you some information. I didn't realize it was that many trusts, different types of trusts.
Yeah, it can get difficult. So that's why
Because all
again, trust
you
attorney is important there.
Yeah, all you really hear about is revocable and irrevocable. And you don't hear about the so many, different vast varieties of different trusts. So I think it is very great that you guys have a team that is dedicated, a trust attorneys team.
Mhm.
1 second, let me flip this camera around real quick. BNG the rulers, usually the mafia, I mob ENT. We about to go. If you want to catch the rest of the interview, head over to the Real Right Show on YouTube. Let's go.
Indeed.
So yeah, I think that is great. Like I said, for you that you guys have a team. Um because trying to do everything yourself, even as smart as I am, I still know that I can't do everything. And I know that there are some times where I have to delegate tasks. There are some times where I have to pay somebody to handle certain things for me because I can't specifically do everything myself. So it is okay. But when you have a one-stop shop of different people, skilled professionals in different areas to help you execute what you're trying to execute, I think that is great.
Yes.
So okay, now let's say a person has a job, okay, and let's say their job um, provides life insurance, okay, should they stick with the life insurance policy that their job provides? Should they seek other plans or other help when it comes to life insurance policies? Or what's some advice that you can give on a person who has a life insurance policy through their job, but it may not be as fulfilling as, let's say, a policy that you could help them get?
Okay, great question. So most of your job plans, because I do offer job type policies to companies, they don't usually come with the living benefits package. So one, you probably don't have living benefits, and I think you should have living benefits. Two, we call life insurance at work phantom insurance, and we call it phantom insurance because it appears and then disappears like a fan. So you only have that insurance while you're working there, and most people plan to outlive your job. Like if I
Right.
asked you, hey, you plan on dying there? You'd say no. So which means you won't have life insurance if you just keep living and eventually become an entrepreneur or move to a different job. Because again,
Correct.
jobs used to give you a pension, which kept you there longer because you had to be there for 20 or 30 years. Now they're giving you 401ks and IRAs, which are only supplements. And they don't keep that doesn't keep you at the job. So you could go
Correct.
somewhere else and get another 401k IRA. So that's what people do. And so yes, you absolutely need life insurance outside of work because you plan to outlive the job. And the longer you
Exactly.
wait, it's going to be more expensive. You're going to be less likely to get it, and you're probably just not going to get it. He's like, man, I can't afford. It's going to be purely expense at that point. In your 40s and 50s, is it's going to price you out almost. So it's better to get it the younger you are outside of work. You know what it's going to do, and you're set. And yeah, if the job gives it to you for free, obviously take it. Or if it's
Right.
super cheap, yeah, take the
Right.
$8 plan. So that's just more insurance. So if you do die while you're there, but again,
You
you
know
know you
what?
want living benefits, and you know you plan
Yes.
to outlive it.
I didn't even think of it that simple. Like, you don't expect to work at a job your entire life. You don't expect to work there your entire life. So if you are dependent upon that life insurance policy while you're working with them, and let's just say so happen you lose the job or the company closes down,
Hmm.
now you're out of the job and you're out of a life insurance policy.
Right.
So
Even if you work for 30 years, I mean,
yeah,
you still what? If you work from 30 to 30, you still 60 with no life insurance.
this is correct.
And it's
This
going
is
to be very
correct.
expensive. With the average person living at close to 90, that's a lot. That's a lot of years. So,
I just from experience over, you know, throughout my lifetime, I have seen so many situations where, and I can speak from, from some, some of my family members that might have passed where they just didn't have life insurance, and families had to come together and, put money together and make things happen, or they might have had some stashes or some accounts and stuff, but it is very important that everybody has some type of life insurance policy. Now, this next question I'm gonna ask is, I think this was one of the most popular questions that people ask because you have a lot of people that are starting to move and live abroad now, that are moving and living in different countries. And knowing that, what happens if a person moves out of the country but they still are locked in with the life insurance policy? Does that policy still cover them while they're in another country? If they die in another country, would those death expenses be covered? How would that work?
yes, it does. It does cover them no matter where you live. So you can live anywhere, anywhere, period. Pick a place. If you already have that coverage, it will pay out to your beneficiary. It'll pay just the same, just like
Right.
you were in the States. So I think that it could be a little difficult if you're already moved and now trying to get it. They may want you to get it, where you are. And so but if you already have it or maybe have local residents, sometimes you can kind of get by. You can get by if you've already moved. But yeah, if you've gotten it and then want to move, that's fine. Again, which brings to the point where you should have life insurance as soon as you can, or as early as possible. We say like out of the womb. You should have a life insurance policy. So no matter what happens to you, whether you become sick, heart attack, stroke, cancer, overweight, any kind of issue, you want to move, it doesn't matter. I already have life insurance.
Correct. It's very important.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the plans and the premiums, how does the payments work? Because I know you can pay monthly, you can pay every 6 months, you can pay annually. Would it be cheaper if I paid it annually, or 6 months, if 6 months work? How do the payments work every month or every 6 months or every quarter? How does it work?
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. Usually monthly or semi-annual or annual. And so, yes, if you choose the annual, you'll save a few dollars. If you choose the annual, most people don't. But then
Right.
I do have a few people who don't like bills. So they actually pay everything
They don't
annually.
even want to see it. They just pay the
Uh,
whole lump sum.
right, which is kind of an interesting way to live. You know, I'd
Yes,
probably be fine with that too. But to be able to do that just takes a certain mentality of a person. So yeah, if
yes.
you do annual, it'd be a little cheaper. And
Okay,
obviously, if the younger, the best bang for your buck. You'll
this is
get
true
more insurance for the least amount. Period.
because they know that that policy is going. That's going to be a long policy. That's a whole lifetime of payments.
Indeed.
So, of
Yep.
course. So I'm gonna ask probably say about two more questions, and then we're gonna get out your brain.
Okay.
But I want three, if you can, give me three misconceptions about life insurance and life insurance policy. What are three things that either might seem outlandish or like myths, or well, just give me three misconceptions about life insurance that you've come across.
I say the biggest misconception is usually price. Most people think it's too expensive, so they don't even try because they're like, "Oh, it's just going to cost too much." Um, there's a misconception of what it does. So usually people who think that, again, they're thinking it's just for death, and they think, well, I don't have anybody. Like if you're not married or have any kids, you may not see any importance. Or you young, you're like, well, who am I? Why am I paying money to leave money to somebody when there's more to life insurance than death?
Just
There's
yes,
there's wealth building. It's really the best wealth building available in my mind is in the life insurance plan because it's tax free and it's growing uninterrupted, compound interest.
yes.
So yes, that price and what it does, I think those two are kind of like leading everything by a
The biggest
landslide.
ones. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
for real,
yeah. I can
really.
agree, and I've actually seen some very, very cheap plans. Like I've seen some very cheap life insurance policies, and I do believe that that is a misconception too, because people think that they are very expensive. And another misconception I think is people feel like they like some people really didn't know that you could pull out of a life insurance policy. Some people feel like they can only access those funds when they're dead.
Hmm.
So, for you to be able to provide some information on living benefits and how they can, pull from it, I think that's great. Give me three tips for life insurance. Like three tips that, let's say, people are either looking to get a life insurance plan or they already have one, and some things that they might need to know that they don't already
Um, okay, three tips. And to go back to give you a third one on the misconceptions is some people think that life insurance are scams. And
know.
so
Yes,
I think some of that has been with on the agent. Actually, a lot of it is on the agent. So as an
yes,
agent, I can sell you what I want to sell you. And if I want to sell only the products that make me the most money, I can't. There's no moral code to being an agent. And
correct.
so there's some immoral people. And if they're talking to you and they feel like you're not gonna get a certain thing, if you're not gonna get this retirement plan, they're only gonna sell you a term because they think, well, you're just not gonna understand it. Maybe they reserving it for their kind, which we know some people do. And so they may not just tell you about something because they don't want you to know, unfortunately. So that is another deal. I'm sorry, I had to go back because I thought of
No,
it.
that's true. That's true. That's true. They needed to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. And so the three tips I would give would be to start early, right? So one of them, again, is so much to start on a baby, you can start with like $25. And you're not paying it for life. You're just going to transfer it to the child when they're old enough. So say they're 27, 30, just like I was when I started, 30. And instead of me starting paying $200 a month, my mom or dad would have just transferred it to me. And it would have only been $30 a month. But by the time I was 36, I might have started with 75,000 of insurance, but it might have ballooned to 300,000. So for $30, I got $300,000 of life insurance, whereas somebody who just started would have had to pay $300 a month to get 300,000. But I'm only paying 30.
Hey,
So they're gonna look at me like, man, how you paying $30? I'm like, well, my mama started on me when I was a
when I
baby.
was a damn baby,
So
right?
you should have, and then by the time I'm 60, I have more like 500,000. for just $30 if I never increase it. But we know that I make more money, so I probably increase it to 100, 200. Now I'm retired at 50, making the same money my mama made because she set me up. So that's the biggest tip,
Wow.
is to start early. That would be
Early.
number one, like out of the womb early,
Yes.
like maybe
Yes.
2 weeks.
After you
Um,
leave the hospital.
Yep. So, because you got your social security number issued to you, I think when you've been in the hospital. So, long as you have it, that social security number paperwork in, you can apply for it on your baby.
If
Uh,
y'all can put light bills and shit in these kids' name, then you definitely can put a life insurance policy in these kids'
100%.
name.
100%. And they should definitely do permanent. So that policy I'm talking about, that was my number two tip, is a permanent policy.
Okay.
So that is only, and again, it was only 25 because it was on a baby, whereas it would have cost you 300 for the same 300,000 at 30 years old. And
Correct.
so if you start permanent, you're not even really worried about term. You're not worried about terming out. Like I'm already permanent. If you get
Yes.
term, it'll just be for some extra little thing.
Right.
And then my third one is do some research. Like, I
Yes.
mean, you got to do it. I mean, it is what it is. I had to do it. And so, and I'm glad I did it because now look where I'm at. I literally quit my job to do this because a guy came and told me, and I researched. I could have
Yes.
just said, "Oh, that sounds good." People ain't really doing that, and then just let them go, and still working in the same job.
And it's
But
crazy because that's how most people think.
yeah, and that's the struggle that I have trying to help my people.
Yes.
Is some people just kind of go back to doing what they just been
What
doing,
they
and I'm like,
what they
no,
normally do. Yes.
figure it out. Just like you were saying in the beginning, you tell people so many times, and you're like, man, I'm showing them what I got. I'm doing it. It's not like I'm saying it and not doing it. And they just don't kind of get it. And they'll be the ones who, if Lord willing, if we show up at 60 something, and they won't have a retirement plan, but I will. And
And
so,
I think that's another thing too, because it's not like we're being these, um, we're being these aggressive people to say you have to do this way, or you have to do that, or we're not saying you have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Whatever
right.
you choose to do is on you. It's just we feel obligated to provide this information to our people because we know that 90% of our people don't know this information or aren't utilizing this information or have been provided this information in the past, but they turned a deaf ear to it, or because we are living proof that we have actually taken the steps and done these things and we were able to benefit from it. So we want you to benefit from it too. So we're sharing the information with you too. Don't criticize or judge me because I'm still learning and teaching you at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still executing, but I'm teaching you as well while I'm executing. So regardless of what level you're on while you're providing the information, in my opinion, I still think that it is a great thing to be able to provide this information and this education for your people, to keep that energy going and that knowledge flowing through the ears of your people, instead of just turning a deaf ear to it and gatekeeping information or gatekeeping streams of revenue, or holding, as they say, holding your nuts on your people and keeping this information from them and not freeing them.
Right.
Now, to each his own. Some people just aren't gonna get it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm starting to realize that maybe those people aren't supposed to get it.
Yeah, but I love you. I love you, and I love my people, and so
I
that's
love you
ultimately
too,
my
bro.
bottom
Yes,
line. Is I want
yes,
them to know I love them so much that I figured something out, and I just want you to know what I know, and you can
yes.
decide,
And
and
it
because I
works.
love you.
It
Yeah.
works. And because I want you to win, and because
Yep.
I see how much success it has brought me and my family and some of my friends and other people who taught me, or who executed. I saw the change. I saw how it was able to transform their life, even when it comes to starting your own business, financial literacy, business credit, personal credit, REITs, stocks, land. I have seen how it has changed my life, my family's life, other people's life. Do you know how many courses and trainings I've done and I've paid for and that I have just stacking and I'm learning every day, but I'm also sharing that information with other people because I don't want to gatekeep.
Mhm.
I don't want to hold my nuts on my people. I want them to learn. I want them to be great. I want them to have access to this information. And just like I remember how you were saying when we first talked, it can be frustrating sometimes because it really feels like you're beating a dead horse.
Yep.
And you'll really feel like you're talking to yourself. You have millions and billions of people in the world, and it feels like nobody is listening.
Especially when I targeted you. It's like I stopped what I was doing to target
To
you
make
to
sure
help you.
you was
And you not listening. And it's like I could easily just go to a different demographic, but I don't because you need to know.
Or I could have easily not did or said anything and just
Yep.
made it straight about the money.
Yep. Could have did
I'm
that.
not telling you, teaching you, putting you on nothing without no money. I could definitely be giving that.
Yep.
And
But
I
it's
have
all free.
and I have so many people telling me like, bro, you're shortchanging yourself. Bro, you need to be charging these people more. Bro, stop giving free game. Bro, stop. These people don't care. They don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Even though I hear that a lot of times, the way that I'm made up, bro, I just can't give up on my people. I just can't. Now
I know.
I might go over here. You know what I'm saying? I might go over here. I might have another strategy, but I'm not just gonna say, you know what, man, fuck all y'all.
Right. Right.
I just can't do it. It's not in my makeup.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to say thank you for providing this information for our people, bro. I want to say thank you for not giving up on our people. I want to say thank you for being a strong vessel for our people and for your family. And then not only for providing value, but being the change that you wish to see in our community. Because it is one thing to complain and, oh, nobody's teaching us anything, or nobody don't care, or they did this to us, they did that to us, or we wouldn't be in this position if them people didn't do this. You're actually providing solutions.
Indeed. Yeah.
You're providing multiple streams of revenue. You're providing the information and the tools necessary to get out of that bondage or to become free from the bullshit that they are at this point in life. For real, our people are imprisoning themselves.
Indeed. You're right. And
Like they're
that's
at this point in life, bro, they're choosing to be slain or they're choosing to be in the position that they're in because it's way too much information out
yeah, I did too. And so I understand. And so we coming up with the ways. And this is one of the ways by having a
here. Yeah.
platform so that we can be out. And so I appreciate you. Everything you said about me, I feel about you. So I
Yeah, and
appreciate you.
I'm not, and I also want to say this too before we close out. I also want my people to understand that I didn't always know. I didn't always have it together. I had my days where I didn't want to do shit. I didn't want to tighten up. I didn't want to man up. I wanted to blame everybody else for my bullshit. I didn't want to execute. I didn't want to put in the work. I didn't want to do research. I didn't want to sacrifice funds and put shit aside. And I didn't want to pay bills. I didn't want to handle my responsibilities. I wanted to be comfortable. I wanted to be content. I wanted to be mediocre. I went through those stages. But sooner or later, hopefully, you will get to the point to whereas you don't want to accept mediocrity anymore. Hopefully, sooner or later, you get to the point to where you want to level up. Hopefully, sooner or later, one of us can empower you and encourage you enough to say enough is enough. This is not enough. This is not how I want to continue living. I want more for my kids. I want more for my family. I want to break these generational curses. I want to bring legacy to my last name. I want my ancestors and my seniors to be proud of me. I want them to look up to me. I want my people to win. So hopefully, if not you, me, or anybody, hopefully y'all can be inspired by this information that we gave y'all today. And make sure that y'all hit him up if y'all have any questions, if y'all want to link up with him, if y'all want him to um, screen y'all for a life insurance policy, give them your contact information, bro.
Again, I'm Synergy J Sheffield on Instagram and TikTok. My email is synergyjsheffield@yahoo. So you can send me an email or find me on social media, Joseph Sheffield. Um, Hopefully, I can pop up and be of service to anybody. I'll help anybody totally free. I never charge.
Listen, y'all, it is still some genuine, loving, and caring people out there in the world. Nobody is perfect, but we all deserve this success. We all deserve to have our affairs in order, not only for ourselves, but for our family and for the next generation. There is no excuse anymore. If you are not in the position that you would like to be in, it's your fault. It's not their fault. It's not what they did 400, 500, 900 years ago. It's not what your ancestors there. It's not. It's at this point, you have to make the conscious decision that you want better for yourself and for your bloodline. And I hope and I pray that the information that I put out is enough to empower you to want better. And if not, hopefully the information that he provides or anything, just reach out. If you don't know where to start, how to start, reach out to either one of us, whether it's business, personal, on my end, whether it's looking for work from home, what anything that I can do to help. Y'all already know. 90% of y'all already know that I'm just that type of person. When I come across on new information, I inbox it, I share it with people, I bring it on my show. I've been doing this show since 2016,
Wow.
and every person that I brought on my show, I've interviewed lawyers, I've interviewed doctors, I've interviewed tattoo artists, insurance brokers, real estate agents, international real estate agents. I've interviewed DJs, I've interviewed artists, makeup artists, celebrity stylists. Bro, I've interviewed so many different types of people, and everybody was a service professional, and everybody was able to provide some type of information or resource to my people. And I'm going to continue using my platform to do this because I understand how important information is.
Yeah. I love it,
So
bro. Benji.
thank you
I
so
love
much.
it, man.
I appreciate it. I love you too. Make shout out to Joseph Sheffield, Synergy, Jay Sheffield on Instagram, right?
Instagram and TikTok. Yep. Synergy
Okay,
J Sheffield.
Instagram and TikTok, and make sure y'all. I'm going to share some informational videos he sent me. I'm going to go ahead and post them across my social media platforms so that you guys can have a little more information, because I see that some of y'all tapped in late. I see some of y'all literally just tapping in. So thank y'all for coming in, but the show is about over. So if you want to see the full interview, head over to the Real Right Show on YouTube and you can see the full interview. I am going to post some informational videos on my pages so that you guys can have a little bit more information on what he does and the type of services that they provide. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man. Happy
Let's go.
belated birthday again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
All right. Man, make sure y'all follow the homie on all social media platforms. Make sure y'all follow me on all social media platforms. The Real Right Show, that's TheReelRightshow, or follow my artist page, Benji dot the ruler. The Mafia video dropping 8/1/23, which is Tuesday at midnight. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Major shout out to everybody who was able to help me make my birthday a y'all do not understand. Like, that was the best birthday I've ever had in my life. And it took a lot of work, it took a lot of energy out of me, and it took a lot of money, but it was successful. It was a beautiful experience. And I want to thank everybody who was a part of making it happen. Thank y'all so much. Y'all already know what time it is. We have 2 interviews set up for the month of August. I am interviewing Lisa Riley, who is stationed in Playa del Carmen, the owner and CEO of Hermana a Hermana. She has built a community of Black, Indigenous people of color and women. There are some powerful women who are making moves and grooving and moving and shaking all over Mexico, and they're building this global community. And I'm also interviewing my cousin from Brilliant Girl Finance. We got some millionaire tips for y'all when it comes to financial literacy. And stay tuned. This is gonna be a busy month. Okay, major shout out to everybody who came and tuned into the show today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Stay tuned. You already know what time it is. Peace, protection, prosperity. Let's go.